a murder in a Sydney nightclub in 1998, a prison cell raid in 2007. What authorities discovered would create Australia's most violent street gang alliance, orchestrated entirely from behind bars. 27 people shot, multiple deaths, innocent children caught in crossfire, all commanded by a man who never left his maximum security cell. This is the real story of Brothers for Life. How does a convicted killer serving 21 years transform a prison into a criminal empire's headquarters? The answer reveals a chilling reality about organized crime in modern Australia, where prison walls mean nothing when ideology becomes the weapon. May 1998, Oxford Street, Paddington. 19-year-old Bassam Hamzy pulled a gun after a nightclub altercation and shot 18-year-old Chris Tumazis dead. During the same incident, Hamzy fired at an off-duty police officer who returned fire. Sentenced to 21 years in 2002, Hamzy entered the prison system at Silverwater before being moved to Goulburn Supermax. But incarceration didn't end his criminal career. It amplified it. Behind bars, Hamzy converted to Islam and began radicalizing fellow inmates. His vision was unprecedented: merge Islamic extremism with suburban gang codes to create an unstoppable force. 2007 became the turning point. Prison authorities raided Hamzy's cell at Goulburn Supermax, already knowing he'd become ringleader of 11 radicalized inmates. What they found was disturbing. A printed photograph of Osama bin Laden, hand-drawn logos showing AK-47 assault rifles with the words, "Assassins Australia, FFL." Most importantly, papers outlining the gang's credo: courage, honor, no mercy, mercy for Da Week, family for life, and BFL. Brothers for Life was born. But Hamzy's true genius was understanding that prison couldn't stop modern crime. In 2008, while locked in Lithgow jail, authorities discovered Hamzy had smuggled mobile phones into his cell. He was making up to 450 calls per day, orchestrating a drug network worth $250,000 weekly. He directed kidnappings, shootings, and kneecappings from his cell, treating maximum security like a corporate office. Police raids in December 2008 arrested his father, Khaled, brother Ghassan A. Moon, cousin Khaled Hamzy Jr., and multiple associates. They recovered 3.8 kilograms of methamphetamine, 6.6 kilograms of cannabis, 600 grams of ecstasy, at least 25,000 pills, loaded firearms, and a drug laboratory. Cash seized totaled $276,000. Despite these busts, Hamzy's influence only grew. The gang divided into distinct chapters based on ethnic territories. The Bankstown chapter consisted primarily of Lebanese Australians, led by Mohammed Little Crazy Hamzy, Bassam's cousin. The Blacktown chapter was predominantly Afghan Australian, established by Farhad, the Afghan Qalmi, after meeting Bassam in prison. Hamzy tasked Qalmi with keeping the Lebanese chapter in check, but jealousy and territorial disputes created a powder keg. Late 2013 exploded into warfare. The catalyst was rumor and disrespect. Someone allegedly called the Afghan faction Afghan dogs. Tensions over drug territories, power, and Farhad Qalmi's jealousy of Mohammed Hamzy's wealth ignited violence that terrorized Sydney's western suburbs. October 29, 2013. Revesby Heights. Gunmen ambushed Mohammed Little Crazy Hamzy's home. Mohammed escaped, but his cousin Mahmoud Hamzy was shot dead in the garage. Omar Ajaj suffered gunshot wounds to his leg and stomach. Mohammed Hamzy returned to the crime scene in his $150,000 Ford Mustang with license plates reading MEOC, Middle Eastern Organized Crime. November 3, 2013. Winston Hills. Brothers 4. Life member Michael Odisho was shot multiple times outside his mother's home. November 4, 2013. Blacktown. A 13-year-old girl was shot at her family home on Sunny Holt Road. Over 300 shotgun pellets struck her spine, lungs, and chest, causing life-altering injuries. Her brother, Masood Zakaria, was the target. She was collateral damage. November the 7th, 2013. Bankstown. Three men sat in a vehicle outside the Chocolata Cafe on West Terrace. Gunfire erupted. Abdul Abu Mahmoud, Khalid Sowied, and Hassan Sowied were shot and wounded. The Blacktown faction believed Abu Mahmoud could reveal their secret addresses to enemies. The violence continued with drive-by shootings at Greenacre and attacks in Guildford. 5 major shooting incidents in just 1 month. At least 16 shootings total over the gang's brutal reign. Multiple deaths, countless injuries. Innocent women and children caught in crossfire. The trials that followed became historic. One of NSW's longest and most complex murder cases ran for 6 months with hundreds of exhibits. The jury deliberated for 1.5 months. Farhad Kaumi was convicted on 15 offenses, including the contract murder of debt collector Joseph Ontoon, shot dead at his Strathfield home in front of his 2 young daughters in December 2013. Justice Peter Hamill sentenced him to a maximum of 60 years, with a non-parole period of at least 43 years, calling the violence outlandish and lawless. His brothers Mumtaz and Jamil Kaumi received sentences of at least 36 years and 21 years, respectively. Mohammed Little Crazy Hamzy was convicted of manslaughter for the October 2012 death of fellow gang member Yehye Ahmoud, receiving 11 years and 6 months. Mohammed Kalal was sentenced to 10 years for his role in the Chocolata Cafe shooting and the attack on the 13-year-old girl. During the trial, extraordinary scenes unfolded. Gang members turned on each other in the courtroom itself, captured on security cameras, as former brothers became enemies. But Hamzy wasn't finished. 2017 brought a new chapter. From Goulburn Supermax, Hamzy recruited Damien Featherstone, a career criminal he'd met in the prison yard. Featherstone converted to Islam and agreed to revitalize Brothers 4 life in the Illawarra region, south of Sydney. This iteration was different. Instead of Lebanese or Afghan immigrants, the Illawarra chapter recruited disadvantaged Indigenous Australian youth from broken homes. Featherstone exploited their need for belonging, offering brotherhood through Hamzy's radicalized Islam. From his cell, Featherstone directed criminal operations through recorded jail calls between October 2016 and February 2018. He ordered members to stockpile weapons, traffic drugs, and attend Friday prayers. He recruited Andrew Abdullah, Coe, and Richard Dutton, reminding them, "You gotta remember to get the boys to Islam, and God is great. Trust your brothers like you trust me." The Illawarra chapter's downfall came through police surveillance. Featherstone's jail calls were monitored, revealing plans to assassinate Troy Fornaciari, leader of the Illawarra Finks Motorcycle Club. In January 2018, Richard Dutton fired a gun into the air outside Lake Illawarra Police Station, then walked inside and surrendered. Featherstone fled to Canberra, where he embarked on an ice-fueled crime spree, including shooting a man in the thigh, kidnapping, and carjacking elderly victims at gunpoint. He received nearly 8 years imprisonment. Andrew Coe was sentenced to over 5 years. The Illawarra chapter was dismantled. Throughout these events, Bassam Hamzy continued controlling operations. In 2016, another mobile phone was discovered in Goulburn Supermax's library linked to Hamzy. In 2017 and 2018, he was caught directing the supply of over 450 grams of methamphetamine from Supermax using contraband phones and corrupting his lawyer, Martin Churchill. He received additional sentences extending his imprisonment to over 40 years total. By 2024, Brothers 4 life had spread beyond Sydney. Former Mongols motorcycle club Bicky Sam, the Punisher Abdul Rahim, was photographed with Mohammed Little Crazy Hamzy, accompanied by rumors he would lead the gang's revival in Victoria. In May 2024, gunmen ambushed Abdul Rahim outside his Thomastown home, firing 17 shots. He fought off attackers and escaped. Abdul Rahim survived, having also survived a previous 2022 assassination attempt, where he was shot 8 times. February 2025 brought a surprising development. In a Sydney District Court hearing, Hamzy's lawyer claimed Brothers 4. Life is no longer operative, and that Hamzy has changed, pursuing lawful business ventures. Prosecutors remained skeptical. citing Hamzy's distinct ability to get around rules and manipulate. Bassam Hamzy remains in Goulburn Supermax, first eligible for parole June 1st, 2035. He's classified as an extreme high-risk restricted inmate, Australia's first to receive this designation. His story reveals disturbing truths about modern organized crime. Prison walls are no barrier when ideology becomes currency, when religion is weaponized for control, and when technology allows criminals to command empires from isolation cells. Over 2 decades, one man's vision created multiple chapters, dozens of shootings, numerous deaths, and a legacy of violence that continues evolving. Brothers 4. Life may claim to be finished, but its story demonstrates how criminal organizations adapt, recruit, and survive despite law enforcement's best efforts. The alliance Hamzy built from that 2007 prison cell raid changed Australian gang culture forever. Whether it's truly over remains to be seen.